Javargan Shulam Bhajandim Shira Shankham Sandadadim Karedranam Sarvanga Bhushavadam Lashmidhi Madhavada Jagam Seve Mahakalikam Yamadundavadero Bhalayo Hantum Madhum Kaitavam. My blissful gorgeous selves, life is full of problems, tension, suffering, miseries follow all the way up to the end. People get fed up, they want peace, relaxation, joy, something which can last longer, and that is why they turn towards spirituality. The fountainhead of spirituality has been and is and will be India. And in India also, the Himalaya is the center of all wisdom and esoteric knowledge and different techniques to be in peace, and so much be in peace that it explodes in enlightenment. Enlightenment means to attain the truth, absolute truth, the reality of life, or the God, absolute God, the one God, or going deep in divine trance within yourself, going beyond body, mind and ego. What William Jung says, regular man uses only 1/10 of his mental potential. There are 10 layers of mind. So going beyond all these layers of mind is going beyond all layers of suffering. And then you are in a state of complete mystic trance, Nirvikalpa Samadhi. In the state of Nirvikalpa Samadhi, truth shines in its full glory and grace. And there is no suffering. One who attains Nirvikalpa Samadhi has no suffering, no tension and frustration at any time, at any cost. Even if he wants to be, he cannot have suffering. Even if you put all kinds of sufferings around him, dashed down all the miseries of the world, he will not suffer. So that is the only criterion. So attain the truth, to attain enlightenment, to attain the God, what we call Bhagavan in India, is the way to be in permanent peace and real happiness, which is perpetual. In the West, the word God and religion have been notorious since the people have started awakening and being awakened into scientific investigation and being scientific. Why? Because the religions in the West were discovered for religious, political agendas. They had political agendas to accomplish, and therefore accordingly they concocted a particular God who says, do this, I am envious God, bring people at my feet who will obey me, they are my people, and to outside who don't accept my order, kill them, murder them, rape their ladies, burn their villages, even the children, bring them and kill near me. That kind of verdicts are there in Old Testament and the Bible, and people have been following. The regular people did not know because it was not available to read. They can only hear in the churches and mosques and anywhere. So now, the first time people have been awakened, the books have been available, they are reading in the Bible and Quran everywhere, and they are awakening. And they have become scientific minded, therefore they are losing their faith in God. And because the only kind of religion they are introduced to in the West is Islam and Christianity, therefore they are saying there is no God. This kind of God is a hodgepodge. This kind of religion is the only cause of trouble making in the world that loses. Because of this kind of God, this kind of religion, we are losing our peace in our life. The life is becoming full of struggles. So That is why some person like Nietzsche comes and speaks bravely, God is dead and man is free again. So the God is dead, definitely is dead as soon as you are awakened to scientific advancement and you are awakened to your integration, to your consciousness. So the God is dead. But what kind of God? The God which Western concept introduced to you as God, that God is dead. Not God is dead. God which India introduces, whom we call Bhagavan, Shadaishwarya, Purna Bhagavan. He is always alive and awake. He never sleeps. He is full of energy, full of infinite energy, full of infinite intelligence and full of bliss. As soon as you come closer to him, you become bliss-filled. What to speak of bliss-filled, you are ecstatic. You begin to dance. Dancing enters in your life and that becomes perpetual. So that is the kind of God India introduces, my dear friends, and that is the part of Himalayan wisdom. And the door of Himalaya is Rishikesh. Therefore, all of you are coming to Rishikesh. The Rishikesh, it has a 1 million years old history, my dear friends. The first, the creation is longer, much longer, not 5,000 years ago, not God made it 7 days and 7th day he rested. But according to the ancient scriptures, which we call Galactic Chronicles, the 5,000 years ago was the change of a yuga. There are 4 yugas. Twice more than this there was another yuga, and thrice more than that there was another yuga. 4 times more than that there was another big, very sacred, very pious and peaceful yuga that lasted for about 2 million years. Okay? So 2 million years after this civilization came up, after passing 1 million years, there was a great Prince Ram. The Prince Ram was the ideal of household life in India. In India, you are adored and you are accepted as one of them when you express your knowledge deeper about Ram and Ramayana, about Krishna and his life. As much you know, you become popular, you become one of them in India, wherever you go, travel, in the villages, and when they know, you know Ram, you know Krishna, you become part of them, part of their life. You can stay in their home, dine with them, and enjoy. So you are not separate, you are not Western, you are not foreigners, you are part of Indian life. So this much value Lord Rama has developed in his life for his transmoral code of conduct. He left his kingdom because the serpentine way of situations, by his own will he left. He went to the forest with his beautiful wife Sita and brother Lakshman. And there Sita was kidnapped by a great mighty king who was a yogi and who was a tantric, who was a scientist and who was a terrorist and who was highly powerful and who prolonged his youthful age for several thousand years. And he had inhabited a golden city called Lanka, surrounded by ocean. So this man had eye on this princess who chose Ram as her husband and was in deep love with him. So she was kidnapped from the forest when the brothers were away, and now Rama was almost half dead in separation, in misery of separation with his wife Sita, and looked everywhere, and then he found out where she is. He sent Hanumanji, and the message was sent, and Hanumanji went to that island, and it is a very interesting story. There was a great battle between Ram and Ravana, and Ravana was slain. And then there was great airplane Pushpak, and they came by the airplane in one day to Ayodhya back. and they were greeted with all citizens, adored, and the time of coronation came, everybody was waiting. Spiritual master suddenly appears and he says, Ram, everything is perfect, but you are not qualified for this coronation because you killed a Brahmin. What does that mean? Brahmin is someone who is almost enlightened. Just like calf killing is a greater offense. Killing even an insect is a sin in India. Killing a human being is a very, very great sin, and killing a king is a much greater sin than that. And killing a person who is on the path of enlightenment is bigger sin, and who is almost enlightened, if you kill him, it is a very, very, very great sin. So the Guru says that Ravana was born in a race where people are going to get enlightenment. That was a must. But he missed, and he was contrary, and he was a terrorist after all. But he was born, he had the genes of a Brahmin, therefore you have committed a great sin, Ram, therefore you are not qualified for coronation. And Ram was not unhappy. He continued smiling, but his brothers and all the citizens were very unhappy. And he says, we waited all the 14 years, we tormented, Ram will come. His brother said, I have not sat on the throne because my brother will come. And I have been waiting impatiently, now he is here, now what to do? And they were crying. So then the brother said, Lakshmana said, Holy Sire, is there any atonement? And Vasishtha said, of course there is atonement for everything. So what is for this one? 4 years in a holy spot, meditation will do it. 4 years again. What if we all 4 brothers go and do the atonement? Then it will be 1 year. Wow, they were happy. Which is that place? Which spot is that powerful, which can enhance our meditation power? And he said, Rishikesh. Oh, they all came to Rishikesh, and it was beautiful grove, and wonderful caves, and beautiful Ganga river flowing, sparkling water, waves sounding like music. And they settled, it is known as Vasishtha Gufa there, 17 kilometers upstream north, and it is still a beautiful place. You go meditate there, but watch out, have a flashlight with you, otherwise somebody is meditating there in the darkness. You may fall down in his lap and both of you will be startled. So watch out, take flashlight with you. And that place is interesting, and it will serve a very nice Indian lunch, and you can see the beautiful sight of the Ganga. So when Vasishtha came and settled there, he asked Ram to settle up north in Devrayag, and he asked Lakshman to settle up here, and Bharata downtown there is Triveni Ghat, and Shatrugna also settled down. And now when they were banished in the forest, they were still having their bow and arrow. Here Vasishtha ji said, you cannot carry bow and arrow in such meditations, in atonement, so they dropped. So he thought, what about the remains of the kinsmen of Ravana may hide and come and attack on Ram? And so Vasishtha himself was here, and he was skywalker, and he travelled back and forth and changed everybody's meditation and took care of them with his spiritual power. So this way, when they were meditating, they created an electrodynamic field around, and then it grew and grew and grew, and all the 4 brothers' electrodynamic field grew and grew, and then it exploded in great enlightening space. So the Rishikesh became filled with their vibration, and anybody who came after that were feeling a shock they are jerking their kundalini and their chakra opening. Somebody felt the Muladhara chakra opening, another person felt Ajna chakra opening, another person felt his Anahata chakra opening, other person just came and just sat and they were entranced. I remember a little incident. When I was in my home as a teenager, I used to close my door for 9 days and I used to be in meditation. And after the 9 days, the ceremony of my meditation, my father said, so son, you have to open the door because we are going to have a marriage festivity and there will be many guests. So I said, okay. And the first person who entered and said, he just said, he was a big gossiper and a smoker. And he said half an hour. And then he looked around and said, what happened? What kind of room this is? I am chain smoker and I forgot smoking. I am a big talker and I forgot talking anything. What is happening here? He ran away and other person came and then he checked and he became very calm and quiet and he said, there is something in that room. So I am an ordinary person and my meditation charged that room where all people felt. So see Ram and Lakshman and Vasishthaji, they were meditating here. How much deeply it was charged, you can just imagine. So even 40 years ago, I came to Rishikesh those days when Maharishi Mahesh Yogi was famous and the Beatles had come and I came searching for enlightened sage and I thought Maharishi may be enlightened. So I communicated with him and learned TM and stayed with him. At that time, the whole of Rishikesh was a jungle, and there where I am living now was a complete jungle, full of bushes, and the Ganga was sparkling clean, the waters were sparkling and beautiful. You can see, you can count the fishes who are swimming in the depth, 10 feet depth into the Ganga. So that time, the whole Rishikesh was like a jungle except that ashram, which is known as Shankaracharya Nagar, now it is ruined. And still it is beautiful inside, it reminds of that time. So that was the only place worth visiting, and the next was Shivananda ashram. There are just a few ashrams there, and the rest was quiet jungle, and anybody was able to go take a dip in the Ganga and just go in trance in meditation. So this vibration existed ever since last 1 million years, my dear friends. It is only recently all the businessmen have settled here and people of all kinds with a dirty past come here, smokers come here, druggisters come here, and also I have heard there are clubs, the dancing and many kinds of things are happening. They have swallowed up the serenity and placidity of this place. But anyway, it is still much cleaner than anywhere else. So this is Rishikesh town, my dear friends. Here is Holy Ganga. Holy Ganga has another history, and it has just like you have a Bermuda Triangle, anything which comes around or even above, it just disappears. Scientists have no idea where it just goes away, even the remains have been not found out. So, but the yogis say that Bermuda Triangle is a doorway for fourth dimensional existence. So whatever disappears, they still exist, but not in this reality, in another reality. So the same way, Rishikesh has a triangle. If you draw a line from Kunja Devi to Nilkant and combine them with a line to Triveni Ghat, it makes a triangle. So if you meditate in between this triangle, you can still disappear, not physically, but psychologically and and spiritually. You can be taken away, transported to another level of consciousness, where you can have colorful dream-like scenes. Means something will become so real to him. It happens many different experiences. We don't want to go in details, so that we should not start mood making coming here. So this is beautiful Rishikesh and the sparkling Ganga still, and there are still many power spots if you go on walking northward upstream, and also if you walk downstream, still there are many beautiful spots you can meditate. And the back side there is a mountain called Manipur Parvat. It is said it is extended all the way to Nepal, and there are many enlightened sages still live in the middle of this forest. It is infested with the beasts, tigers, lions and elephants, and they still come back and forth. When we were living in Maharshi Mahesh Yogi Ashram, we saw in the morning there is footprints of lions and leopards, and at the time there are elephants elephants visited and broke some trees. So my dear friends, still the Rishikesh is full of vibrations. You can feel it, you can see, and there are many sages still there, enlightened sage. I saw a few enlightened sages. They are still living here in the form of mad people. They have made their appearance as a crazy and lunatic, are so ugly that you wouldn't like to stand there and speak to him. So they are hiding themselves, but they are here. So this is Rishikesh, and this is the doorway to the Himalayas. The doorway starts from Har Ki Padi to all the way to Rishikesh. Har Ki Padi, both of them, Hari Ki Padi, because it is the doorway to Lord Narayana, Lord Vishnu's abode Badrinath. And it is Har Ki Padi because it is the doorway to Kedarnath, the abode of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is known as Har, Lord Vishnu is known as Hari. So this is the Padi of both of them, my dear friends. And also Gangotri is the abode of Divine Mother, and Yamunotri is also abode of Kalindi. Om